Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and today I'm going to share with you 14 different signs that you are going through the ascension process. You might not relate with every single one, but if you're going through and you resonate with a fair amount of these, then you can rest assured that you are going through this positive, transformative ascension process that many are now going through here on the planet. Number one is you're starting to experience synchronicity. You're starting to see little ironies in life, coincidences that happen at a rate within a frequency that it's just way more noticeable than you're used to. We all experience little deja vu or coincidental unfoldments in our life from time to time. That's nothing new. But when you start going through this process, you'll start to have those kinds of experiences that make you think, that was pretty ironic or interesting. You have that so much that it causes you to go online and say, what's up? What's going on? What's happening here? Are other people going through this? So that's certainly a sign. You might be seeing certain number patterns or certain objects, like we all have our own little symbols. Maybe you see a certain bird that flies by and you've been seeing that bird like every single day. Little stuff like that will start to really pop out at you to try to get your attention so that you can be conscious as you are going through this ascension process. Number two is you experience a large contrast of being connected and having connection with your true self, which implies everything is going hunky-dory for you. Life is flowing smoothly and effortlessly, and you're in a very upbeat and optimistic mood and attitude, and you just feel great. You're happy to be alive. And then for no other reason that you can pinpoint, you feel the exact opposite, extremely disconnected, jumbled with all sorts of unconscious and uncomfortable emotions, seeming that they're just pressing upon they're like at the surface of your body. And from here you look at your life and it's very dreary, and all of a sudden, even though yesterday you were flying high, now you're like, man, life sucks, and you feel tired and lethargic and problems spill into your life. And there's a lot of these wild swings. When I was going through this, and I still do to an extent, but when it started to happen to me, and I wasn't aware of all this, I went to the doctor and they diagnosed me with being bipolar. And I actually took the bipolar medication for a little while there. But then eventually, intuitively, I knew that because of all these other signs I'm going to get into, that there's much more to the picture. And I really didn't believe I was truly bipolar. So anyways, it's normal to feel like that as you're shifting and going through this ascension process. Number three is unusual dietary changes. That change. What I mean is you might have certain changes in your diet. A lot of times people go through a period where they stop eating meat and they become a vegetarian or a vegan, and they want to eat nothing but like fruits and vegetables. And then that's how it is for a while. And then it changes again. You feel like you need a lot of heavier foods, lots of protein and just heavy foods because you're feeling like you're lifting off and you gotta kind of ground yourself. You might just randomly be finding that you can't stomach foods that you ate your whole life, and yet you're excited and ecstatic about some other foods that you never used to enjoy. And it can be just all over the place with your diet. It's always changing. You might be trying to find, I just wanted to find something that that would work for me, that I could blindly follow, that was like, what's my ideal diet that satisfies all of my preferences, which is to feel good, to look healthy and vital and whatnot. But I find that different foods at different times will create that ideal, and it's always changing, always shifting. And up until this process started, I pretty much ate the same thing my whole life, and now it's all over the place. Number four is there are usually sometimes drastic life changes in regards to your career and relationships, your housing situation, just directions where you sometimes you change direction. Sometimes people are going in like a pretty linear trajectory in their whole life, and all of a sudden you start to wake up and you just change directions, which is a big thing. And that might imply the externals shifting around again, like your career and stuff. But regardless, there's fundamental changes going on within you as you start to merge more with your true self, and it will oftentimes, depending on how out of alignment you were which most of us were quite a bit, your life will reflect in just big changes, like quitting your job of 20 years, even though you're a couple years away from retiring and you have your pension, you just can't do it anymore and you get out of it. Or you've been married for 20 years and you divorce or something. None of these things have to happen. So there's certainly nothing to fear, but sometimes they're a byproduct of you just having different expectations and changing on a core level. Number 5 is the heightened degree of empathy. You become very sensitive to not only your own emotions, but other people's emotions, and just the energy of all of the planet, whether the planet as a whole or the animals, or you just can feel their energy more, and kind of in a way you understand where everything stands on more of an energetic level, rather than just the face value of things. A lot of times it's kind of funny. You'll probably notice that people you're talking to, they're talking and they seem like they're fine and stuff, but their words won't match their energy. That they have a lot of pain and anxiety and doubt, but they kind of have this mask they've become good at projecting, and you just start to kind of feel the truth of all the different things in your life. It's empathy. You're opened up. You're more sensitive. Number 6 is you have a knowing that you and the planet is going through something big. And it's kind of hard to really feel so certain of something, because we've only been here in our short little lifetime. And I used to wonder, like, has everyone thought this throughout history? And then here we are, not much has changed in a sense in that regard. But it's deeper than that and bigger than that. And you know it. You can see it. You can start to perceive that there is a fundamental change and transformation taking place within yourself. You're like a microcosm of it, but you're seeing your process sort of play out in the world, on the world stage, within people you interact with, and you know something is brewing. Even if it wasn't about your perception of things happening, like your own conclusions, you can sense it deeply. You just have a knowing, almost like a remembrance that this time is of great significance and there is something very profound occurring right now. You might be having some more unusual practical types of symptoms, which aren't really practical, but you'll see what I mean, like ringing in your ears. You just hear like high-pitched frequencies in your ears. You might think you have tinnitus. So I know some people talk about that, but you're perceiving the higher frequencies now that are like on the planet. I went through a phase where for a long time when I would stand up, I would get dizzy for no reason. And one of those on their own is like, okay, yeah, of course, it could be some kind of health issue, but you might have a lot of them. Just weird changes in your perception. You might be able to start seeing flashes and colors and auras. You might see like rainbow-like light emanating from people, and now it's just like there, you can see it fairly clearly. And that combined with the ringing in the ears and the lightheadedness and the changing your diet and all these other things, it's like, whoa, there's certainly something going on here. You're starting to feel it in many different ways. Number 8, a lot of people start to feel energy rushes throughout their body. Some people call this Kundalini Energy. I don't care about the name, but it's energy that you can feel moving through your body in a very noticeable way. It's not just your imagination. You feel it almost... it's hard to explain, just like vibrational like energy zipping through your body. For some people it's very subtle. Other people it's incredibly obvious and almost scary at times. It was for me. I had this energy rushing through me up my spine, and it was so powerful that for a couple years there, when it would happen, I would have to like lay down and just allow it to do its thing. And in the beginning, it was so powerful, it frightened me. I wondered if my body could even handle the power of it. But that's more of an extreme case. It's not a requirement, but people are going to start to kind of wake up their Kundalini energy in a sense. If you want to look at it that way, doesn't matter. But regardless, there are energetic changes going on within your body as a result of this ascension process that you'll feel and notice. You start making life decisions based on the degree of resonance with something. I'm going to go here and choose this restaurant because I can perceive that there's a higher degree of resonance. And you might not even like label it that way. That's just my best way of explaining it. But you can tell when something vibes with you. The vibes of things become more obvious. There's more of a contrast. There's like the lower vibes, or not even so much lower, but not a match to you types of vibrations within people, places, things. And it just, you can kind of sense it and perceive it in a way. And then it's kind of obvious. And then there's the opposite swing where you get offered an opportunity, or you're trying to shop for a new pair of shoes or a house or something. And then one of them has a higher degree of resonance and just sticks out at you. You feel a connection with it and a repulsion from the lower density stuff. So and then that becomes like, you realize that you are not happy when you choose and participate in things that are not of a good match vibration, and you feel amazing and uplifted and super awesome when you do things or interact with people or buy things that have a high degree of resonance. And you just start kind of, it just like by default, you just start gravitating towards frequencies of your preference. Number 11, you could stop this video now if what I just said actually makes sense to you. There's sometimes a lot of confusion and feeling like a loss of identity as the old illusions of who you thought you were start to break down. And a lot of the ascension is a deconstruction of the false you that you mistakenly identified with throughout your life. And even though it's a false you or an illusion, it still leaves kind of a void that's not exactly pleasant or comfortable. So there can be a lot of I just don't know like who I am. I know what I don't want. I don't know what it is I want. Well, what's my passion? What's my purpose? What do I want? All I know is I don't feel like my old self, and I don't know who I want to be or who I am. And it just sometimes it's confusing. There's an element of like the void and sort of like feeling like you don't belong anywhere and you don't even know who you are. That's kind of a challenge in itself. But there's also like, it can be confusing. Like you just feel not clear. And from this place, it can be like, oh man, nothing's happening. This sucks. This is no ascension. I don't feel any better, but it's just part of it. It's part of us coping again with the loss of our attachments, which were really just a false persona that we were taught to believe we are. So beyond the void is the rediscovery of who you are. And this will kind of happen not at like it's not like a one-time thing. It's just a constant, we cycle through. That's me. That's what I want. That's awesome. Into, who am I again? I forgot, and you just keep going back and forth. Sometimes you'll get waves of incredible hope and inspiration and passion and connection. Usually it's at this time that what I'm talking about makes sense to you because your soul is perceiving it. You know there's something going on. You know it's positive because how you feel be bad in any way? You feel so connected and divine and in sync with your soul self, and life is just amazing. And you get these periods where you're kind of teased with that state of being, only to let you know that that's what you're moving towards. You're climbing, you're ascending up to a more consistent embodiment of your natural state. You're just now getting a glimpse of it as you are letting go of the old you. The real you is starting to come on board more and more and more. And at first it just comes in random little glimpses, but eventually you'll start to reside in that energy that you're so fond of. you start to become aware and entertain a growing desire to contribute in some way. And a lot of people hear this mistakenly think that it implies like do something big for a lot of people, like get on TV or something. No. It's just the Ascension is bringing you into a fuller embodiment of your true self that knows itself as part of the whole. And naturally, it's a natural, like a puzzle piece fitting in. You want to fit in. You're a puzzle piece and you're aware of that and you want to fit into the whole. Whether that looks like you getting on stage and teaching people as like a spiritual teacher, or you just feeling in alignment with your life. But regardless, we all contribute in our own way. We all want to. You start to kind of feel and experience less separation between you and the world. You realize you kind of are the world in a sense, and you want to help it. You want to help the planet. You want to help people. You want to help your friends and family. It's not something you're doing for some sort of a end game plan. It's a natural, organic, divine sort of desire that will start to spring forth within you more and more and more. But it can be frustrating because what can be puzzling is how. There's a desire. I want to help so badly. I want to contribute, but I don't know how. I don't have a freaking clue as to how. I'm going to try this and this and this, and I've tried all those things and it's not working, and now I'm getting ticked off. So a lot of the Ascension process is about you kind of finding where you as a puzzle piece fits into the whole, and you will. That's what it's all about, really. So if you have that desire, it will be fulfilled within you at some point. It took me a while. There's a while where I knew I wanted to help. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to help in some way. That was kind of how I described it in my mind. But there was a matter of years between realizing that strong desire and actually doing it. And for me, it happened to be like being on YouTube and stuff. For a lot of people, it won't. It'll just be kind of living a good life, doing your own thing. But regardless, you'll find it. I promise you. The whole process essentially is helping you do that as we speak. You're probably finding that you're opening up and showing a genuine interest in some sort of mind-expanding set of concepts or philosophies, oftentimes spiritual or metaphysical in nature. Maybe you're drawn to, like, you're drawn back and you're starting to read through the Bible again, and you're seeing it from a totally different vantage point, and you're actually kind of relating and absorbing a lot of that content in a much more deep and profound way. And it's a natural, it's a fun, exciting thing to do for you. It's not something you're doing because you think you need to or you feel guilty. It's because it's just a natural, like, yes. Or it could be having nothing to do with that. Maybe you're getting really fascinated with like extraterrestrials, and are there aliens, are they real, that kind of thing, and you're just like doing a lot of research, or you're researching physics and stuff like that. That's kind of making you realize that, wow, at the root of everything, we're pretty much 99.99% space, therefore we are all really one when it comes down to it. That kind of stuff. You might find yourself naturally just buying books about it, reading about it, learning about it, excited about it, because you're expanding, you're opening up, and the information you possess in your mind will start to reflect your expanding consciousness. So that's it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. As you see, I have no desire to prove to you whether this is real or is not real. I know the people who are going through this will resonate with this so strongly that they're not going to need proof. Unfortunately, I'm incapable of providing you with validation or proof on a mental level of any of this. This is me sort of expressing my own experience with what I believe to be the Ascension process, and I have a feeling I'm not alone here, so you guys can let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Does this relate with you? This kind of wild content that might have been resisted a long time ago, and are you finding yourself resonating with it? Not just me, not just my channel, I'm saying this kind of content. A lot of other people are speaking about this right now as well, and I just kind of want to do my part and express it my own way, because when I started this process, there were not that many there was not much information about it. And a lot of the stuff I covered in this video concerned me very deeply, and I created a lot of unnecessary stress. So my role here is to kind of provide information out there to help people be more excited about it. It's a freaking amazing thing what we're going through, this ascension process. What does that imply? It implies a better world, a brighter future, a happier you, more loving and harmonious ways of relating with each other as human beings, and just getting along finally, and ending all this bullshit that we've been sort of putting up with for so long. It's a phenomenal time to be alive, and I thank you for your own role here. And I'm gonna bounce now, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Much love to you all. Peace.